let me introduce the Hoola Girls, Carissa Caricato and Sarah Page, and their organization, Hula for Happiness, is dedicated to spreading joy to the world, one hoop at a time, one life at a time. Through their Tampa-based nonprofit, Page and Caricato take their hoops on the road and across the seas in a unique effort to bring people together in a joyful way. Please welcome Carissa Caricato and Sarah Page.
Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Make sure, can you hear me? Great. Sorry we're out of breath, we're like 45 seconds only or we're gonna be dying up here. But we just wanna say thank you guys for letting us be here today. My name is Carissa and I'm the Chief Executive Hooligan of Hula for Happiness.
And my name is Sarah Page and I'm the Chief Operating Hooligan with Hula for Happiness.
We just wanna give you a brief background of how Hula for Happiness started. Hula for Happiness started with a dream in a very crazy way that it came about. I went to Haiti on a mission trip in 2009, and then that year I started taking hula hoop dance lessons. We're both from Tampa. It's with a local group called the Hula Monsters. And they actually have mini monsters classes in case anyone is interested. But we learned how to hoop and exercise, burn 600 calories an hour, super fun, and turned into one of my favorite hobbies. I went back to Haiti for Christmas in 2009 and took travel hoops down to the kids. And it was an incredible way to work with the kids, to love on them. And when you don't speak the same language, play and laughter really transcend language barriers. I got back in 2010, a week before the earthquake. And after the earthquake, my life was shaken up in a variety of ways. Several trips to Haiti later, I was sitting in Haiti, had already kind of started a Facebook group called Hula for Happiness, nothing too official. My heart was for Haiti, my heart was for these kids, and hoops was a way for me to be able to do this. And I just really felt this call to do that full time. I loved my job. I was very passionate about what I did at another nonprofit in Tampa, but I truly felt called to do this with everything that I had. So in March of 2011, I put in my notice, I quit my job, I sold all my stuff, and wanted to turn my dream into a reality. Today I stand before you, Hula for Happiness. We just had our 2-year anniversary party this week. We have 2 full-time joy spreaders with Hula for Happiness. Our team of joy spreaders has been to 23 countries, including El Salvador this week with another team. And we currently are operating in 6 locations around the world. And we're super excited to be here with you guys in Tampa because this is where we call home. We have learned a lot of lessons from the hula hoop, but we also have this funny thing that we're adults and we work a lot with kids. You'd think that we'd be teaching kids, but in fact, kids are the ones who have taught us all of our lessons. We learn a lot from kids, so we're excited to have so many kids in the audience today. Our entire lives, we've been told to grow up, but we've embraced a few concepts of childhood that we have found very helpful in becoming fully adult. So some of the things that we have learned from kids are that kids are teachable. And we want to also remain teachable in our lives. We want to be able to listen better, be humble when we're in new surroundings. We also just want to be amazed at a lot of things. We want to live a life that is filled with awe and wonder. Have you ever gone next to a kid and just told them something really simple that you've known for years and they just overreacted like crazy? Like, hey, did you know that the shape of a hula hoop is a circle? And the kid's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Little tiny things like that that you can say to a kid and they just get so excited. Or maybe even the rice in a Chipotle bowl. You know, I just love Chipotle so much. And kids can get excited over the smallest things, like there's little tiny green things in there and they're just so delicious. And we want to also remain excited about the little simple joyful things in life and never lose that sense of awe and wonder about the beautiful world around us. Kids are also extremely dependent. They have families that take care of them. They have to learn to be submissive to authority, to obey parents, to work in an environment with other people. They need people. They need community. And we also do too. We're not loners trying to save the world. We believe that we are meant to live in community and to make a difference. Kids cannot exist as individualistic people. They would probably die. They need people around them. They're also vulnerable, and so we try to remain so as well. Kids are also incredibly good at receiving gifts. Have you ever tried to give a kid an ice cream cone? Did he ever step back and say, I can't accept that, I'm not worthy, that ice cream cone, it's just too good for me? Usually the kid will respond with, I love it, thank you so much, I'm so appreciative. And if you offer them a second one, I promise that they will take the second ice cream cone. They will not say, no thank you, I've had enough, unless they're a really good kid, or unless they're diabetic, I don't know. Either way, we want to be able to be receivers of good gifts. We want to be ecstatic, we want to be appreciative, and we want to be grateful for the blessings in our lives, always, all of the little things. The other thing that kids inspire us for is that they're playful and sensitive. Kids laugh easy, which we try to do, but kids also cry easy. They remain open, and sometimes the little things that really touch their heart, we want to make sure that we don't become hardened through the things that we see around the world. We have an opportunity to see some really sad things, and we don't ever want to get callous to that. We want to still be able to have compassion in everything that we do. But the biggest thing that kids have taught us, kids dream that a new world is possible. Have you ever talked to a kid about their dreams? And they just have the craziest dreams. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to take a spaceship to another galaxy and explore aliens, or I want to cure cancer, or I want to save children that are dying in Africa. They have these huge, amazing dreams, and nothing will stop them. And we don't ever want to get too old that we can't also experience those dreams. Kids have a sense of imagination, they have adventure, they have creativity, and even as adults, we do not want to lose that. Dreaming of the impossible leads to new ideas, innovation, and paradigm shifts, and we want to stay open to that. I want to share a very quick story about one of our dreams. This is me hula hooping, and this is Sarah working. This is usually how this happens. She's very responsible, and I love her very much. This is a dream. We were in a hotel room at a conference about 1.5 years ago, and Sarah and I were dreaming. We have dreaming parties about twice a month. They're really fun. And we were dreaming about what we could do if we could work together with Hula for Happiness. I was like, I could pay you in hugs and hula hoops, and every once in a while ice cream. And she received that very well, which is why we're working together today. But this up here is Africa, and this is our VW van, which we hope to have one day, and we'll paint it all kinds of colors and pick up kids, and we're so excited about this dream. That hasn't happened yet, but it will soon. But this was our dreaming party about 1 year ago when Sarah still had another job. And it's 1 year later, so we are both doing this dream, except we're not going to Africa, we're going to India next week. So, but we're super excited. I think that it's important to write down your dreams, dream that a new world is possible, maybe draw pictures, have Sarah draw the pictures, not me, it would look way worse than this, and keep dreaming. I'm gonna pass it to Sarah for the next couple points.
Another lesson that the hoop has taught us is the difference between joy and happiness. And there is a difference. Happiness is an emotion like anger or sadness. It comes and goes, and we often seek happiness by obtaining something. We often say to ourselves, if I only had blank, then I'd be happy. If I only had that new iPad, then I'd be happy. If I only had a coffee, which we say a lot, then I'd finally be happy. But ultimately, like emotions often do, that happiness will wane after that thing is gone. So when we speak about joy, however, we're talking about a condition of your heart. So you can have joy in the midst of happiness or in sadness, despite the changes in your circumstances. It's still there after the iPad screen is broken and after that last sip of coffee is gone. And it's still there after all of those things that have made you happy are gone. So you can take my hula hoop away, it makes me happy, and you will take away my happiness. But you cannot take away my joy. Joy is a sense of contentment. It's hope, it's truth and certainty about something that is greater than this moment, than this thing that will pass. It's something greater than ourselves even, and it exists when we are not feeling happy. Joy is eternal. Okay, sometimes we can get so worked up about seeking this happiness that we completely rob ourselves of being able to have this experience altogether. So personally, I've always been an achiever. I was always that kid that made straight A's in high school. I always wanted to be at the top of my class. And so I had, after college, all the checklist of things that were supposed to make me happy. I had a good job. I had a great boyfriend. I lived in South Tampa, right off of Bay Shore. I had a college degree. But even after all these things, there was still something missing inside of me that left me feeling unhappy. And I was really stressed out because I kept worrying about the future. I kept worrying about where my life was going to take me. I thought that happiness came from money, from status, from accomplishments, but it didn't, because I had all of those things already. I carried around this 10,000-pound burden on my shoulders of my future successes or failures as a human being. And I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't handle it anymore. So I quit my job, and I broke up with my boyfriend. He probably thought I was crazy anyways. And I decided that I wanted to make a few changes in my life. So I was very blessed to be able to go to Haiti with Carissa and Hula for Happiness this past March, and get a glimpse of how other people live their lives. Let me tell you something. In Haiti, people live their lives with far less than we have here, but they still have joy. And because they have a lot less, they're not worried about the future. They're more worried about how they're going to put the next meal on the table. They're more worried about whether they have gas in their generators, because during rainy season, the river floods the road and they can't drive to town, and they may be stuck in their houses for weeks. It's these little things that keep them back on their feet. It keeps them wanting something more and knowing that even despite their circumstances, that there is something more out there. But despite not having hot water, despite spotty electricity, they have joy in their lives. I also got to see that the world is a lot bigger than my little 10-mile radius here in Tampa, that the world did not revolve around me, although Facebook might tell you otherwise. And I felt a pull to do something bigger than just live the American dream and be all that I could be. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't have dreams or to neglect yourself, but have dreams and pursue them, but do a little heart check first before you pursue your dreams. Are you doing this to fulfill a void of happiness in your life, or are you doing this because you are so filled with joy that you can't help but let it out? I still want to be happy, but it's less important than finding joy and knowing where true joy comes from. Now I'll give it over to Carissa again to close us out.
At Hula for Happiness, we truly believe that hula hooping can change the world. We're a little biased, obviously. This is a little picture that we just got a couple weeks ago. My most recent trip was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and we are training a group of dancers down there to do works in different through dance ministries in different slum areas all over Brazil. We have a connection with a network down there of over 1,000 different dance ministries, so we are going to be going back twice next year. And we're also teaching them how to make and sell hula hoops as a job venture. We're doing the same thing in all the different places that we are at. It's not just about dancing and fun and freedom of expression and creativity, but it's also about providing jobs to people through the making of hula hoops and in just different creative small projects like that. So we are going back to India, like I mentioned this week. I'll be there for 2 months. Sarah will be there for 2 weeks with our intern. And we've got about 8 cities to go to. And then we're making hula hoops in one specific place to help them create jobs there. The unemployment is very low. So we really do believe that a new world is possible. While we are hula hoops and we're happy and we have all this joy and we're laughing all the time, there is a serious side to what we do. We truly feel that we are called to be light in dark places. And we also feel called to bring hope to a world that is broken in so many ways. There's a really good quote that I found a couple weeks ago that I just love, written by a small organization, you might have heard of it, called the Salvation Army. A preacher and founder of that organization, his name is William Booth. And he wrote this quote. He said, "While women weep as they do now, I'll fight. While children go hungry as they do now, I'll fight. While men go to prison, in and out, I'll fight. While there's a drunkard left, while there's a poor lost girl on the streets, while there remains one dark soul without the light of God, I'll fight. I'll fight to the very end." I want to close with this question. What are you fighting for? What in your life is so important that you are fighting for? We are fighting with hula hoops, as crazy as that sounds. While there are still 66 million orphans in India, while the unemployment rate is 50% in Honduras, while the sex industry is the main industry in Southeast Asia, while addiction and suicide still plagues our very country, in this very town, while 20,000 kids die a day from hunger in this world, from hunger and lack of clean water, We will continue to go to battle with our hula hoops every day for a higher purpose, to spread the joy of hooping and the love of God all over the world, one hoop at a time, one life at a time. Thank you.